Yo, what's going on? This is James Weller, the Boxing Source, coming at you with another video. This one here is going over what happened at the World Farms Arena as you had Gervonta Tank Davis win and retain his WBA Super Championship in the Super Featherweight division when he was able to defeat Ricardo Nunez there and keep his record untouched, now at 22-0, and just gonna go through a little bit of tidbits here for Gervonta Tank Davis. We know that he was originally scheduled to fight earlier this year against Abner Mares, but Abner Mares had to pull out due to, at first what was an elbow injury, but then found out later on that he was dealing with a detached retina. So that delayed Gervonta Davis to step into the ring there to defend that WBA Super Championship. Then he was able to have a hometown fight there in Baltimore at World Farms Arena that attracted 14,686 people there at that arena. So that was a very good turnout for, the city of Baltimore to have a fight there of that magnitude and for Gervonta Tank Davis to get the stoppage victory that he had against Nunez. But, with this performance, this kind of builds a little bit of momentum there for Tank Davis. Hopefully, he is able to be more active there in that super featherweight division. Of course, we have the other world champions there at super featherweight, including Miguel Berchelt, Jamel Herring, and Tevin Farmer, who had also won his bout at that same day over in Arlington, Texas against Guillaume Frenois. And we know about the talk that's happened between Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer to try to get a fight between those two to unify the Super Featherweight Championships. But that is something that is remaining to be seen, and that we would have to see if Gervonta Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer are able to try to work out a deal in reference to that. Tevin Farmer has been very vocal saying that he wants to fight Tank Davis. And with Tevin Farmer having those multiple defenses of the IBF Super Featherweight Championship, he had been under the DAZN platform for those title defenses. Now he has basically completed his deal with DAZN as far as exclusivity and stuff like that. So now his next fight, he can basically fight on any network as long as DAZN gives that okay for his next matchup. Now, with Tank Davis, you know that Tank Davis would want that fight there against Tevin Farmer to unify those Super Featherweight Championships there. And, he had been, talking a lot of smack right after his win over Ricardo Nunez, saying that he rates WBC Super Featherweight Champion Miguel Berchelt higher than Tevin Farmer there. But, we just have to find out if anything happens with Tank Davis to kind of push for this particular fight between him and Tevin Farmer to happen. He's one of the young guys that could become a superstar in the sport of boxing, particularly there in those lower weight divisions, anything that is below the quote-unquote glamour division at welterweight, he could be that person that would be built up to be a star. But we have to see what is going to be his next move. There have been a lot of criticism as far as like the direction of Gervonta Davis's career being under the tutelage and the direction of Floyd Mayweather Jr. But now, going off the momentum of having a very successful turnout at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore and capping that off with a second round stoppage of Ricardo Nunez, you'll have to see if you're going to be able to use that momentum to give Tank Davis more interest going into his next fight. If not against Tevin Farmer in the unification, it may be, against an opponent there that will be ranked in the WBA super featherweight division, or you would have the winner of that co-feature bout that was there in the Royal Farms Arena, as you had Yuriorkis Gamboa being able to defeat Roman Martinez there by knockout to win that co-feature bout to Gervonta Tank Davis against Ricardo Nunez. So there is a possibility that they could have Tank Davis facing Yuriorkis Gamboa as the next fight there for Tank Davis. So that is something that we're going to be looking out for there in the super featherweight division. You have like a lot of contenders that are out there. Of course, you have the other champions, Miguel Burchelt and Jamel Herring out there. You got Lamont Roach Jr. as another potential contender there at super featherweight, and Jojo Diaz, who had moved up from featherweight into super featherweight, that could also be a definite challenger for these world champions out there. So that's something that we're going to be looking out for. Once again, like I said, Gervonta Tank Davis having that stoppage victory over Ricardo Nunez to retain that WBA super featherweight championship. You could share your thoughts about Tank Davis and what his next move might be. Be sure to catch the podcast live on Blog Talk Radio Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, or subscribe to the podcast that is available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, or your favorite podcast app. With that, I'll close off this particular video. Be on the lookout for the next video, and I'm out.